Hey, all cinephile Mike, your friendly neighborhood cinephile is here with day 90 of Award Season Review Season 2. Now, it's a Monday, but we are beginning a new theme this week, and it is our last theme week. This is both sad for me, but also exhilarating because this has been such a fun journey to be on. And just because the Oscars are coming up this Sunday, that does not mean that I am going away. But more on that later this week. But today, we begin our final theme, the rest of the best. The best being those films nominated for Oscars. So this week, all 7 films are nominated for at least one Oscar, and I will make sure that I have now covered everything that is Oscar nominated. All 52 titles have been reviewed this season. So, first up, a strong but painful film to watch, PBS Frontline's 20 Days in Mariupol. Written and directed by Mstyslav Chernov, the film shows a box office take only from the international box office, no domestic, so that international and worldwide gross thus far is $20,555. Now, award wise, for the Oscars, it is nominated for Best Documentary Feature. It was nominated for 2 BAFTAs, Best Film Not in the English Language, and Best Documentary, winning the latter. Other nominations have included Best Documentary Awards for the Gotham Awards, Outstanding Producer of Documentaries by the PGA, and 5 Critics' Choice Documentary nominations for Best Editing, Best Narration, and Best Documentary Feature, while winning the other 2 of those 5, which was for Best Political Documentary and Best First Documentary Feature. Now, regarding other wins, it was also the winner of Outstanding Achievement in Directing by the Directors Guild and one of the top 5 documentaries of 2023 as named by the National Board of Review. Now, 20 Days in Mariupol literally chronicles filmmaker Mstyslav Chernov and his fellow press members recording 20 of the days that his team was trapped in Mariupol covering the Russian attacks on Ukraine. Each of the 20 days gets told in its own framework, with each day being subtitled, and we see the destruction and aftermath of these attacks. Now, the crew put their lives on the line, being right in the battlefield and collecting footage from everything occurring, from the bombing of the malls or the homes or the shells and the hospitals, as well as the deaths of the men, women, children, and even the babies who fall prey to the situation that they're in. The footage consists of spy shots taken under the cover of rubble buildings and live interviews. These are taken in the traditional not in the traditional talking head ones of like framed interviews, but just being framed on the spot. Additionally, the whole piece is narrative by Chernov as he explains the journey of the 20 days the crew spent collecting all of their footage and the challenges they had to send it back to the Associated Press in order to get it to the public, even to the point where they lost their van on the run and had to, when they were finally getting transported, hide their footage underneath the seats for fear of being caught by the military, which could have led to disastrous results because some parties involved would not want this footage being released, although released it is because we have this documentary. It's also interesting to see how the crew is treated as we see the team do their work. There are times when people are calling the crew over to show them images such as the deaths in childbirth or the military filling a giant communal grave, and people are welcoming to them. And then there are other people who are just like, what good is filming this? Why are you filming this? Why are you not helping me? So almost viewing them as the villains, which just shows the strain of what the people are going through. So while we don't have a traditional narrative flow for this documentary, it plays more like an extended news report, but it shows the impact and how much Ukraine is suffering at the hands of these attacks. And not just this, but seeing how the news, when it was displayed, was also being almost twisted as fake news in a sense, coming from both sides, and the social media role that's been impacted. So this documentary is very timely with what is all happening across our world. I will say, and I am starting this week with this film because I am covering the rest of the best, and I wanted to start with a strong 5-star film, which is what 20 Days in Mariupol is for me. I will forewarn, this one is not for the weak-hearted. There are images that will haunt and stay with you. After watching this, I recommend you find something light to watch because you may need it. However, If you want to know more about the information, this documentary will give you all the information you require. Now, if you would like to watch 20 Days in Mariupol, it is currently streaming on PBS, and they have now since, in the last week or so, released it as of this recording on YouTube. And I believe it will be there at least through the Oscars this week. On a separate note, while I didn't review it this season, if this is a topic that is of interest to you, there's another multi award nominated and winning documentary from this season that was Oscar shortlisted, which is In the Rear View. Now, this film chronicled a documentarian who, during the early days of the Russian invasion in Ukraine, drove a small minivan back and forth with Ukrainian refugees as they fled, taking them to the borders. No streaming information for In the Rear View at this time, but I'm sure if you keep that eye out, if this is a topic that interests you, it will be released soon. All right. So, even though a sad topic, it is a strong start to the rest of the best. We have 6 more to go, and then the big night is here. As always, if you like what you heard here, please subscribe to the channel and spread the word. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd. See everyone tomorrow as we wrap up our journey. But until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.